Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. This video will be a tutorial on this cute Chinese staircase bracelet. I will also include how you can make this slidable knot at the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Enjoy the video! First of all, you want to pick a color. I'm using this multicolor from Allison and May, which I get from a local craft store in the Netherlands. They have this whole series of multicolored thread and I totally love using them for my Chinese staircase bracelets as they have really bright colors. When you have chosen your colors, you want to cut your base strings. These won't be visible in your bracelet. The more base strings you have, the thicker your bracelet gets. I use 4 base strings for my bracelet and about 6 base strings for my anklets. But now we're gonna make a bracelet, so I'm using 4 base strings. Then you want to wind a lot of thread on a thread bobbin. This is a string that you are going to use to knot. I use this plastic thread wrapper as I feel that when I use a paper one and I have it in my hand for a long time, it tends to deform and break. But you're free to choose whatever you like to use to wrap your thread on. While cutting your base strings, make sure that you leave some extra space for the slidable knot to go. I usually make my bracelets about 14 centimeters long, and for this one I leave about 5 centimeters on each side for the slidable knot to go. As you can see with this bracelet I did it as well, and you can always adjust the size of the part where the slidable knot is afterwards, but make sure that there's enough for it to slide a lot. And when I say knotted part, this is the part that I mean. It's actually the part where you can see the spiral or the staircase. And when you have done that, you want to get your base strings and make sure they are all, the endings are all right next to each other, and you want to lay your thread from your thread bobbin onto it. Then you're gonna make a knot, just a regular knot, so that all of your threads are bound together. This makes it easier to knot, and it won't be, so you don't have to cut off your thread from your thread bobbin, so it won't leave a weird little string part as a leftover. If you've done that, you want to tape them down. I leave some space for the slidable knot to go, which I just moved out of the camera view. And this is how I usually tape my bracelets down. I tape them down all the way to the end, so that it's really put together and it won't move. This bracelet only consists of one knot, a backward knot or a forward knot. By making the same knot over and over again, a spiral will start to develop. And you don't actually have to change or turn your base strings in any weird way to make that happen. You just have to make one type of knot. It's totally up to you if you want to make a backward knot or a forward knot. The spiral will just be the other way if you make a forward knot, as I am making backward knots. So at one moment your spiral goes to the back, as you can see over here. With my bracelet, what I then do is I pick up the thread bobbin and I move it underneath my base strings from the left to the right side, and then I continue knotting, and as you can see the spiral gets to the front all by itself. I will show you the steps one more time before going into a quick time lapse of me making the whole bracelet. So as you can see, my string is getting to the back again, And right now I am first gonna make another knot, and then I'm gonna move my thread bobbin to the other side of my base strings. And this is basically how you make the whole bracelet. And it's totally up to you how quickly you want the spiral to get to the front again, because if you want to get it to the front quickly, you have to move your thread bobbin more often to the other side than I do, so that your spirals will get closer together. When you're done with knotting, you want to take off all of your tape and make a knot with all of your strings, just as you did at the beginning of the bracelet. I don't make a string right after my bracelet, right after the knotted part of my bracelet. I just leave it as it is, because I don't like the way it looks when it has a knot over there, and it's also not really necessary. But you can always make one if you do like the way it looks. Now onto the slidable knot. For my slidable knot I use a square knot. You can make them any size you want. As you can see over here, this one is a little bit bigger. I believe this one is 6 knots and the previous one was 4 knots. First you want to make sure that your end parts are laying next to each other. I tape them down to keep them in place, but this is not really necessary. Then you want to cut another piece of string, which can be any color you want. I choose to use the same multicolor to keep it all together. And I make this string about 20 centimeters long, but you can make it longer if you feel like that makes it easier for you to knot. The first step for a square knot is that you take your string and you put it underneath the endings of your bracelet. Make sure that you have about the same size of string on both sides. Then you want to take the string that's on the left side and put it over your bracelet endings. You take your right side and put it over your left side string, and then you take the right side string again and put it underneath your bracelet ending parts. And then you are gonna put the right side string through the loop you made with the left side string, and then you can gently pull on it. So this may seem like a really hard knot, but it's actually not. And for the other side you do the same thing but mirrored. You can always remember on which side you need to start with the string first, because that's the side the little bump is on, which you saw at the beginning. So right now I am going to make a 6 knot long square knot, and because the way my camera is placed I'm struggling a little bit to do it fast. I've learned this knot at my scouting group, as I am, well, you could say a Boy Scout, because we're not the real typical American Girl Scouts. So that's why I know this knot, but I also know it's used on boats a lot. When you're done knotting, don't cut off the strings, because with this type of thread, and mostly the slidable knot won't stay in place. I use a little bit of nail polish, actually gel nail polish, to make it a little bit hard so that the knot will stay in place. This won't be hard for a really long time. It won't hurt on your skin when it's there, and after you have put your nail polish on it, you can cut off your strings. So this was the tutorial and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and keep on knotting inside.